Hey, what's up, y'all? So today we're doing a day 2 of the Minecraft song. And I remember last time we left off playing with our little wall lead. And I noticed in some of the gorilla songs that we're trying to be copying, they have really powerful, what is it called? Pads. So I'm actually going to create a very basic, powerful pad. And I always have initialized door patches, but we're going to open this up and have let's see, a sine wave and set it to at least octave 2 to get that very low bass. Okay, so when we play chords, we'll have that. And I'm going to set the range to at least 12 and the release polyphonic about 8. And we're not going to use mono legato because we want to be able to play chords. So I'm going to turn both of these oscillators on. I'm going to choose a wavetable, and I'm going to choose 16 harmonics and set it to octave 3. That sounds like a little bit of bell. That's what we want. And I'm gonna set this to analog. I'm gonna set it to a square wave. Put the PW up to 64, halfway. Just seeing. Yeah, that's good. Semi all the way up, octave right where it is. Sounds kind of fluty. I'm going to turn up the drive a bit and put a calm filter on it. Let me turn down, how do I turn this down? Well, mixer. Yeah, that's good. And so after this, I'm going to put I'm listening with headphones, not speakers, because it would blow my computer. You can use either one, whatever works best for you in situations kind of like this. So after this, I'm going to put a soft tube saturation knob. I'm going to keep it on low, turn it about 4. Create a compressor. I'm going to put that before it. Turn the threshold about 13.9. Input gain about 2.6. Ratio is about 1.8. Attack is a little bit down to 2/5. And release is about 1/4. Output gain is about 2.2. Then after that, we're going to use a pulsar. Now let's have a listen. It's a little bit too much saturation, so this would be good for an old synth, but I'm actually going to take this out. So I'm going to delete that. Flip it over, and let me do CV1 input into this output, LFO1. We're also going to take LFO2 output and do CV output 2. So now we have 2 LFOs. And let's see, I want to change the frequency on this. Actually, let me do the frequency of the con filter. So filter 3, filter 2, do CV input 1, 100% all the way to filter 3 frequency. has to be on the same line. Can't do that. Let's turn this down. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing except on filter 1 frequency, CV2, input, CV2. So I'm gonna have the beat running along with the backbeat and find which chords to play. Also, one thing we should do is probably add a echo after this. Yeah, so 2 8 triplets. Feedback is about 44%, dry wet halfway. So I'm playing C2. So far, I'm gonna play C2, just C and G together. Then I'm gonna do D and G. Then, let me see, C, E, and G after that. So let's get this rolling. Do pre-click so that way I have everything ready to go. So that's a very basic wah pad. So in order for this beat to be a little bit more exciting, we're gonna need to that's good. We're also going to create another combinator, and we're going to create an instrument. This instrument is going to be a Dr. Octo-Rex percussion loop for sure. Let's see, Dr. Octo-Rex percussion. Let me see what the conga sounds like. I'm just trying to find something that can fill in the gaps. This skimpy sounds good, so I'm going to add that. I'm going to put a soft tube saturation knob, turn it about 4. Keep it low, and add a maximizer, compressor, and a maximizer on this. Turn it about 2, threshold is up, input gain up, attack a little bit down, release a little bit down, output is out. Take off the limiter, do auto, put soft clip, put it all the way up, output gain is about 2. And copy the track and take off the enable. So there we go, we have some percussion. Delete this track. So I'm going to take the razor tool and cut this in half. Take off this one, and I'm going to duplicate it. So this is basically going to be the intro. Let me see what's coming up next. This is actually very basic, and I'm going to delete that. Let's hear what this is. Nice hats. We'll keep those. Delete the extra clips that we're not using. And let me hear what this WAP hat sounds like. So what's going to happen after this like very crappy intro? I don't like how this abruptly stops, so after the soft tube saturation, I'm going to create the echo, turn it about 25%, keep the feedback about 50, the delay time about 1/16. That's much better. And we're going to also insert a audio track. Oh, now I can hear myself. This is going to be annoying. We're actually going to create an audio file. It's going to be bad. So, okay. So now that I've figured out how to mute that, I'm actually going to import an audio file, and I'll choose some from the Reason Factory Sound Bank. Let's see. I'm trying to find an effect. Other samples. FX. Here we go. Oh yeah. I'm trying to find like white noise in order to have a build-up.
We're gonna take a little break right now.
That's perfect. We're gonna use that. We're actually going to turn it down. Call it FX. And put a reverb on it. The echo halfway. Feedback mostly up about 1/8, and have a listen. That's about right. So I'm gonna put that about when it's cutting into the second. So I'm gonna take this off, put it on bar again. There. So after this, take out the loop. Okay. So after that, we're gonna have a big impact. So we're gonna have to find another. It's all about finding the right parts and what goes with what. So I'm gonna create another combinator, create an instrument. Gonna go back into Dr. Octorex, find a drum loop. This time we're gonna find an abstract drum loop. That's about right. I always use the soft tube saturator, keep it on low, and it does wonders. It like boosts the right parts of the drums. Copy the track. Take that out. Put that. It's gonna be a problem. Right there. Take this back to 1/8. Match it up. Put it back to bar. Cool. gonna boost it. That's about right. Let's see. We're also going to copy this over. Turn this down. Turn it way down. Now the problem with this part is the fact that, how should I put this? The fact that we need vocals, and since my voice is not recommended for vocals, I can always cheat and use my closet recording studio and use Neptune and cheat that way. But the problem is that we need mostly foreign language in order to create this type of this type of sound. So if you have vocalists or whatever, or a sample pack from somewhere, that's the only way I suggest to do this with. So after this, we're also going to create a combinator, another one. I always create combinators because they're just the fastest. I'm going to create an instrument, and this time, instead of going to drums, I'm actually going to be using like pads, just a evolving pad. Find a big wide pad, something that doesn't sound crappy. Something that sounds weird that would be used. So we gotta find something weird. I'm just going through these trying to find the right. That's a little too weird. Okay, so I guess pads we won't be using because I can't find it. So we're gonna go into bass. Actually, just find something you want to work with. I'm gonna try and choose a synth lead. That's good. This bad flute, that's perfect. I'm gonna put RV 7000, do it about 40%, create the echo. Just leave it as default, and then after that, I'm going to, let's see, alligator would work perfect. Just gonna hold down the notes so that I can hear what all these sound like. cross filtering template is fine. Okay, so we're going to record that. So now that we have our bad flute pad, we're going to use this again, because now that we have our main beat from going something like this into this. Let me see what this... Okay, so I'm just gonna use this bad bass, go down to C1, and probably just hit it once every fourth note, change the value to 1/4, and record. So what I basically did is, let me change this to a different color. I basically hit it once. I basically turned this into a bar instead of hitting it 1/4. So on 11 and 14 I hit it. That seems to work. So after this break, after this, we're gonna copy it all, hold shift, make sure, hit alt, and drag over. So after that break, we're gonna drag over the loop markers, another back drum behind this. So I'm gonna go to Utilities, Combinator, insert, create instrument. I'm going to go to Dr. Octorex drum loops. And I'm looking for dub drums. Trying to find a beat that goes with what we have. That science beat is perfect because it sounds a little bit reggae-ish. Copy that to the loop. I bet you this is going to be fast. Let me solo this. Soft tube saturation. Turn it low. I'm going to create a compressor, a equalizer, and a maximizer. I'm going to call this back drums 2. Have this loop. And you can follow along. Just going to boost it, turn down the threshold, the ratio up. Low. We're also going to take it about 200 hertz and boost it. Actually take off the low shelf, do that with one of the parametric EQs. Because we want a bell curve, not a shelf curve. High shelf, turn about 3000 hertz, kilohertz, turn it off a bit. Do the low shelf anyways. Soft tube all the way up, auto, limiter off. Now this should work, and if it doesn't, I'll have to, while this is playing, I want to do the levels. I'm going to bring it in slowly and see how it works. And if it doesn't work, I can always change the pattern. Now, the one last thing before I go, because I'm on a tight schedule, and this is day 2, I want to keep it simple. So I'm just going to create a new combinator, create instrument, and I'm going to music loops. And I'm going to find a Rex loop, and I'll find a down tempo, because we're working in 115, not 130 or 140. And I'm gonna find something that's like very archaic, that has a lot of artifacts, as what other people say. But to us audio engineers, it's actually what's known as just noise or old. It's a bit crushed. Okay. So since I can't find it in music loops, I'm actually gonna use a refill this time, and it's absolutely 100% free. It's the Reason France Refill Volume 3. Now I did find 2 and I did find 1. 2 is probably the hardest you can find. You have to sign up for forums and everything, but they're all free. So for the Reason France Refill, I'm going to go to, should be here, Dr. Rex. Let's be MISC. This sounds cool. But I don't want to have so much stuff in here. I think this Do Not is actually on a Samantha James track. But I want to find something that's not too much. Like, we're looking for something cheesy, just not super, super cheesy. That sounds cool. That's perfect. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, that's the last one, too. Okay, so this is perfect. I'm actually going to use a RV 700, 7000, 700, whatever. I want actually turn it up to about 74, turn the decay back, EQ enable, I'm going to create a soft tube, turn it to low, turn it up a bit, do studio effects, compressor, equalizer. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to compress it this time. Do the equalizer. Where are you? Do the echo. The echo. Halfway, just halfway. Turn the time about 1/4. Feedback a little bit up. We're going to put a filter on this and put it a little bit high, about 2000 kilohertz, 2.kz. Studio effects, a maximizer after this. I'm going to turn on auto, soft clip all the way, turn off the limiter, turn it up about 2 decibels. Now we're going to have a listen to this while it runs. It's nothing to do with the filter. That's good. We're going to need to boost the crap out of this. Nope. Low cut, low shelf, all the way down. High shelf, turn that up. Parametric about 730. Actually turn that up a bit, about 1.8. Set 6.1. Turn this up, way up. Okay, it has nothing to do with the EQ. So that one does work, so I'm gonna actually copy this to track, turn off the run, and actually solo this on the channel, on the mixer channel. Have this just continuously run. And there's actually some hertz in here that's way, way too high. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna find the signal that's way too high with these 2 filters. I'm gonna find the range it hits, so let's do 4 kilohertz and about 8 kilohertz, and turn on filters to dynamic sidechain. So that way when it looks for the frequencies it's hitting, and it doesn't turn them off, but it turns them down, so that way when you hear it, it's gonna be not hitting those highs. Actually, let me find out the very exact specific range. So after this, I'm going to utilities. It should actually be, yeah, the digital vocoder. I'm gonna turn this on 32 band in equalizer mode. Just trying to find it. Flip this over. Input. Let's take this input from one of the left out, so that way we can see what's going on. It's not working for some reason. It should work. Oh, I know why that's not working. This is actually the individual band levels. So this is one of the worst things that Reason has. It doesn't have a special analyzer. And there's ways to do it. It's just I don't feel like wasting everybody's time. So we know it's very high. The frequency is very high. And I'm actually going to fiddle around with this until I find it. I'm actually going to go into the EQ on the high shelf. I'm actually going to turn this down. It's a little bit better, but you know, what can you do? I'm actually going to go up here and turn up the gain too. 4 decibels, that should work. Anyways, let's have a listen to what we've created. Music loop. And it should sound something kind of like the Gorillaz. Turn off the solo on this channel. And that will conclude it for today too. Day 2. I'm actually going to do it for every other one. Every other bar. I'm actually going to delete all the tracks that have the combinator on them that we don't use. That seems about right. So that concludes it for today, Today, number 2. Thanks for watching. And let's see. Yeah, so on Friday we're going to work. I did things a little bit differently today because in Reason you can arrange things better. And let me turn down the master. Okay, so the reason why I chose Reason to do this tutorial is simply for the fact that you can grab your parts and go very quickly. But the problem with Reason is the fact that it's not meant for sound design. Ableton is meant for more sound design. So if you're looking to build instruments, go to Ableton. If you're looking to just start on a track right away and not have your exact sounds, go for Reason. But that concludes it for today. Thanks for watching. And as always, subscribe so that way you can get a new video every Wednesday, Monday, and Friday. Thanks for watching.